The only secrets I have are felonies. So
You told me it was like 17,000 people.
There's no auto tune.
I don't give a shit what understanding you have.
Welcome to the Goat Show, the show where we celebrate and debate all things great. My name is ZiLLY, aka Ravine. I'm joined by my co-hosts, Fresh and Deezy. Deezy, I'm hearing good things about what's going on in the music scene out in Arizona. Would you agree with that?
You know, Arizona is this hidden gem for music. I think that you're going to see some big people come out of AZ in the next coming years for sure. Definitely tap in.
All right. Well, there's someone else who I think might know a little something about what's going on in Arizona as well. Good friend of yours, Deezy. We're going to have him on in just a second to talk about all the good things happening in the Arizona hip hop scene. He's an OG. This guy, man, he's got so much going on. He's not only is he a hip hop artist in his own right, he's also, someone who runs this thing called Respect the Underground, which is managing artists out there. He's a coach for artists so that they can get their best foot forward in the music scene. And he's also a festival and event organizer. So we will get to him in just a moment. But before we do, Fresh, what do those watching out there, especially people out in AZ in the Phoenix area, what do they got to do?
You got to like, subscribe, hit the bell, drop a comment, and send it to your mom, your dad, your aunt, your uncle.
Send it to your cousin that thinks he can rap. Do that. Send it to your cousin that thinks he can rap, and send him over to RTU.
All right. Well, here we go. So the gentleman we have today as our guest is none other. Goes by the moniker Justus. I think your full name is Justus Aubert. Justus, welcome to the Goat Show.
Oh, he gave you fanciness on that.
with the appropriate pronunciation, holy shit. No one in my entire life has ever pronounced that last name correctly, including my own biological family. Like, we just gave up 100 years ago.
I figured, they just axed Colbert, so it's spelled the same way. So I just figured it's pronounced the same way. But
It's exactly the same, but no one says that. We all say Obert, and it sucks because it sounds like you have a cold, and it's way cooler the way you said it. But touche. But well done, well done.
hey, man, you're a classy gentleman from what I can tell. So we got to keep it classy up in here with the classy pronunciations. But let's just go ahead and start out. Deezy, you brought Justus to our attention. How do you guys, how do you know him? How did you guys meet first?
Well, I've been in the Arizona music scene for a while and done a lot of shows and worked for different events, and I've seen Justus and met Justus many times in the past. And then more recently, I hit him up and I was like, hey, I want to fucking be a part. I want to be a part of this. I want to be a part of something. I want to be a part of the music scene. I want to help. And started doing some stage managing for RTU and just helping out where I can. And it's been super cool. Love Justus. He's cool as fuck. So learn a lot just being around him.
Cool. Well, Justus, before we get into what you think about Deezy, something we ask every guest on the show is if you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Time travel.
Okay. So a lot of people say time travel. Is there an era or a time that you would like to travel to if you had that power?
No, I would just rule the world. So,
All right. You would go like Biff and Back to the Future. You like bet on things and
100%.
yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah. I would cease people from existing before they were ever born.
Oh yeah, you could vanquish your enemies before the fact. Never thought about that.
I would vanquish so many people by just like vanquishing their lineage.
Non-stop vanquishing. I love it.
Rebuking bloodlines, bro.
Right.
Well, from superpowers to superhero origin stories. So are you an AZ native? Is that where you grew up and born and raised, or where did you grow up and sort of what's your journey through life to where you are now?
So I am fourth generation Arizona. My great grandfather immigrated from Germany to Mexico. My grandpa was born in Mexico, gringos. But Yeah, all four. My great grandpa, my grandpa, my dad. They'll all be buried. My father's not. He's still around, but everybody's from Arizona, but technically, but I was born on a military base in California. My dad was in the Air Force, so we bounced around until I was 13, and then we came home in '93 to stay here permanently when my father retired from the Air Force. But I joke my dad was a native because we would vacation in Tempe to visit my grandparents on the 4th of July when it was 126 fucking degrees, and that's the most retarded thing I've ever heard in my life. But that was my dad. He wanted to go on vacation in Arizona in the middle of the fucking summer, so it makes no sense. But I'm Arizona as fuck.
Yeah. All right. I mean, yeah, we're going through a heat wave right now as we speak. Florida's been. I mean, I'm out here in Jacksonville, and it's fucking a gajillion degrees with heavy rain, if you can believe that shit. I'm like dying out here, but
97% humidity.
yeah, walking through water basically. Um, so when did because you're very much involved in the hip hop scene out in AZ and in Phoenix, I think specifically.
Statewide.
Statewide, okay, perfect. So yeah, when did hip hop land on your radar, dude? When did the lightning bolt strike, and you were like, "What? I want to be involved in this. I want to listen to this, and then get involved in it and start being an artist."
I did my first talent show when I was 10 at a church camp. Rap is like my heroes are all rappers. All my heroes were black. Michael Jordan, Bo Jackson, Tupac, Michael Jackson, Snoop, if Michael Jackson counts. But it's just Mike Tyson. Everybody like rappers are just the coolest people on earth to me. And I grew up on military bases, so like the black dudes were way cooler than the other dudes. And I don't say that to be mean, but like they wore the Jordans, they were buff, they were fresh, and it was a very distinct difference between like the church folk that my dad hung out with and then the dudes I would see on the military base on the basketball courts because I played basketball. I was terrible. But my heroes were all hip hop artists and athletes. So 10 years old, I started rapping. I was doing Christian rap because my dad was in the cult, and that was all I could get my hands on until I met a girl who smuggled me some tapes in, and I got.
Whoa, wait. We can't just gloss over this. So I mean, are you open to talking about that? Your dad was in a legit cult, or was it just sort of
A whole ass cult. Yeah, there's a documentary on Hulu called, I believe the documentary is called Let Us Pray, Prey. And it's about the cult that my family was in, and we lived in Illinois for 5. We were stationed on an Air Force base, a double assignment. It was gnarliness. But yeah,
wow. What was the name of the cult?
yeah, good times. It's called God, what the fuck is it called? It's a denomination of Christianity, but it's not normal.
Independent Fundamental Baptist.
Got it. Yeah, but it's like on some like they made their own clothes. You weren't allowed to. We didn't own a TV. We were at church 6 days a week. I went to Bible school Monday through Friday, Wednesday night church, Sunday morning, Sunday night. Super abusive towards the wives and the kids, and just it was an interest. I'm grateful for it now. I mean, clearly my faith is still strong, but I'm a very different Christian. I think Jesus is fucking awesome, and heaven's gonna be fucking great, and I can say fuck all I want. So, yeah, I'm a different breed.
Well, he didn't say cussing, right? But he said cursing, and it's not that context.
He said perverse speech. So you can take that in whatever context you want, but even the Bible has been manipulated to control the masses over the last 2,000 years. So we really want to get into a philosophical conversation. Like,
We could bring you back for that. We'd love to talk. We love to talk about that stuff every once in a while. So like this one's really about you. We really want to get to know you. But hell yeah, we'll bring you on to talk about faith.
yeah, I really don't talk about it much, but nobody's ever asked that in depth of a question. But I'm happy. I'm an open book, man. I got the only secrets I have are felonies. So
I won't ask about those then.
I wouldn't answer them anyway.
Well, I mean, we could see from your background that, for sure. And I know that, you stated openly on your profile, you are a man of faith. So at some point, I don't know, maybe later on this interview, we'll talk about everything else, and if we have time. But if not, we definitely love to have you back on and talk about faith, man. Because
anytime, man. Deezy is my brother. He's super solid. He's the reason I'm here. You gentlemen, I've watched your podcast. I think what you do is incredible. Keep it up, man. You'll bend a corner, and you guys will be the next fucking, super dope podcast, GOAT show. Here we go. Great name.
Hey, man, if we keep having great guests like you on the show, I think we'll be all right. I think we'll get somewhere at some point. But yeah, okay. So, you're doing Christian rap, and then when so you and you're saying that you met somebody in it.
Yeah, it was by default. I did Christian rap because I had no other option. But plus, the church wouldn't let me. I couldn't do like a secular song in the church, and I did my first talent show at 10 at a church camp, and then I continued to do talent shows in school.
But I got to ask you though, like, because I grew up Seventh-day Adventist, right? And so yeah. I mean, it wasn't like what you're talking about, but like it was, you know, we were growing up in rural Virginia, Seventh-day Adventists. Like, I mean, they're great, and they're great people actually. Where I grew up, it was a great church. But when I was growing up, like we had the same thing. Like my dad's like, you can't watch MTV. It's like of the devil. Like it teaches bad morals and values. So my brother would sneak tapes from school of like Eazy-E and fucking NWA and all that shit. And then like my mom found that shit and she didn't know what it was. She just started playing it just because like she was curious. And dude, it was like give me that nut. Like it was like that. So we get home from school. We're like, Aiden, he's 10, I'm 7. We were both listening.
Oh, you got whooped. You got whooped. You definitely got whooped that day.
Oh, dude, she flipped. My dad had to get involved.
That's absolutely the same. So I moved to Phoenix. I'm 13, and my parents homeschooled me because I got expelled from all the schools in Illinois for getting into fights. So my dad and mom are like, fuck it, we'll just homeschool him. And my own father flunked me in 8th grade because I had a video teacher, and I would fucking pause the test and steal the answers and fill it out and put it back and like give it to my mom. And they figured out that I was cheating, so that my own parents flunked me. So I had to move to Phoenix to redo 8th grade again, right? And I get in 8th grade, and I'm like, it's like my 3rd week in school, and I get a call from the principal. I hear my name on the fucking whatever it is. They're like, Justus, over to the office. I go to the office. My mom and dad are there, and I'm like, who died? And they're like, nah, you need to come with us. I'm like, oh shit, they found my weed. Nah, they found my rap tapes, and they dead ass pulled me out of school. I had Doggy Style, The Brat, Eazy-E, DJ Quick, Black Sunday, Cypress Hill. You know what I'm saying? Like real life gangster rap, right? And they listened to it. They thought it was demonic. They took my tapes. I was grounded for like a month. They made me go to counseling, which was wonderful. But like it was like an ordeal because they were still very religious. But once I bent the corner for my 2nd round of 8th grade, my father could no longer punish me how he would choose, how he would like, because I hit back now. So it didn't go well. But yeah, same shit, man. They found the tapes, and it was like Satan had walked in the house like, who's signing up for hell?
And you know what's funny is like now I'll walk into like a Walmart and WAP's playing on the radio or something like that. I'm like, man, now I'm that guy. I'm like, I can't believe this shit's being played like out in the open.
I don't know, man. I don't know, dog. I go listen to Too Short and Eazy-E, and like I'm like, you know what? I get it. It's pretty rough. It's not exactly glorifying God, but it represents another culture, a different side of life that my parents aren't familiar with, that we'll never be familiar with. So, that's hip hop, and I'm hip hop as fuck. I was fucking born hip hop. So, hip hop is rebellion, and it is what it is. I identify with hip hop more than anything else.
It's so interesting. You guys had like an opposite upbringing. Like my mom had me when she was 16. She grew up super Oakland, West Coast, Bay Area. So I was listening to everything she was listening to all throughout my childhood. She was buying me Eminem CDs when I was in like elementary school, and it was just a totally different experience. So it's just crazy to see, ending in a similar place. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think it's just the culture finally caught up to hip hop. I think when we were growing up, it was like hip hop was really like, I mean, it was super edgy. It still is though. I mean, some of that stuff is like you said, like it's still.
Snoop Dogg is a fucking spokesperson for Canes. We're talking about Doggy Style. Murder was a case. He beat a murder charge, and now he's a Canes like billboard. Like
He's got kids albums, bro. He's got kids affirmation albums.
You want to know what's crazy is they didn't do well, and neither did his gospel rap record. It didn't do well. He dropped a whole gospel rap album that just completely shit the bed. So people want West Coast Gangster Snoop. We want Doggy Style Snoop. We want Gin and Juice Snoop. So I mean, at least I do. I don't want to listen to Snoop. I mean, I love like Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. I get it, but to hear Snoop rap about Jesus, I feel like he was forcing it. Like if he was more authentic with it and he put in a curse word here or there, or he was really genuine with it, he's a very genuine human. Like I've met him. He's super rad, but that ain't it.
Like trying to culture vulture gospel rap almost. Like how do you flip flop from?
Yeah, I don't think he flip flopped, man. I think he found faith and didn't know how to channel the energy. He didn't know how to process it. So what's he gonna do? He's gonna rap. And like I think he just had. He probably found a church he liked. I don't know the backstory. All I know is he dropped a gospel rap and album, and it was absolutely, no one cared.
I didn't even know that. I'm gonna have to listen to it.
I mean, Ye had the same thing. I mean,
Yeah, his album was fantastic, though.
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah,
that is arguably one of his best. Creatively speaking, that was an amazing work of art. Like, dude, the choir when he did that at Coachella, like the fucking acapellas, like what he did, that was one of my favorite Ye projects. But I mean, that's because he was glorifying God and it was exceptional. But I don't hear a lot of church music where I'm like, damn, this shit's dope.
Yeah. So you're listening to hip hop, you're loving hip hop, you're in it. At what point are you like, you know what, I want to do this? I want to actually, because that's my understanding, right? You started rapping, and you're an artist still, like you still create. So when did that sort of?
Yeah, I rap every day.
Yeah. When did that first start, or when did that switch, finally happen?
So when I moved in to Phoenix permanently in '93, I met my best friend who lived like 5 houses down, and his name was Kamal Jahi Rabu, and God rest his soul. But he taught me how to rap, and like really rap. Like I was trying, but I had no rhythm. I couldn't catch the beat. I was out of pocket. My voice was trash. Like I was really bad, like cringeworthy bad. But he was my best friend, and we did everything together. When that type of a bond that when you little kids, like that's a different type of bond. And he taught me how to rap. And when I was like 13, my mom asked me what I wanted to be when I grow up. I said I want to be a motherfucking rapper, like the Snoop skit, but instead of a gang.
How did she react to that? Was she like cool with it, or was she like, oh my gosh?
My mother was disgusted. So here's a fun story. I stole a car in my freshman year of high school and crashed it into an electrical pole at like 70 miles an hour head on. And she heard it because it was really loud. It was like probably half a block from the house. And I come running home and she's waiting for me in the front yard. She's like, yeah, go back. Ghetto bird, bunch of cops. Like I had to go back, turn myself in, whatever. So I'm on house arrest for stealing this car and crashing it. And the talent show is going down at my high school. And I told her that I had a job at the local mall, which I did, but I didn't go. I just acted. I would have my friends bang the pots and pans and say, Tuteyaki, right? So they thought I was at work, but my mom saw the marquee. So she went to the talent show, and I had my clothes in my backpack when I went to work, and I performed, and I came home, and she was waiting for me. And she was like, so where'd you go? And I was like, I was at work. And she was like, cool. Anyways, I saw you perform. And I'm like, oh, okay. And yeah, I got popped. I got in more trouble. And then we got suspended from school because we swore we cussed in our lyrics, and we got pulled into the office, and they made me do 10 hours of community service. So like off rip, it's up. It's rebellion. It's whatever. I don't care. Like I'm rapping. What's happening?
So what was did you like go down the path of trying to get a record deal and that whole world and that whole thing, or what sort of what was that journey like, sort of the path of your, I guess, your career until sort of when we arrive at this Respect Underground thing and all that kind of stuff?
My genesis. So the origin is that I came up off a QP in a house party in 1997. We just started throwing house parties. Well, we would go to house parties and battle people, get into fights like that. We would everywhere we went, we were rapping and smoking weed and ciphering and battling. And then I started to throw my own parties where I would go get a sound system and play our music. And then it was 1999, and then end of 1999, we threw a house party, and Gloria Cavalera and Max Cavalera of the heavy metal band Soulfly. They lived like in the neighborhood. They have multiple homes all over the country, but they have a house in North Phoenix. And I actually wound up selling their son some weed. I brought him an ounce. So when I pulled up with the ounce, I gave her son a demo. And I was like, yo, play this for your mom, man. Like, I just want some feedback. Before I even got home, she paged me. I had a beeper. This is how long ago it was, 1999. She beeps me. She's like, hey, come back to the house. Cool. I go back, and she's like, that shit was dope. Who wrote it? And I'm like, I did, and the homies wrote it. And she's like, who made the beat? And I'm like, well, that was the homie Deontay. She's like, so the whole song is original? I'm like, yes, ma'am. And she goes, okay. What do you want to do? You want to get a record deal or something? And I'm like, yes, ma'am. I want to sign with, whoever, Jive, Interscope, whatever. We want to sign with a major label. And she goes, all right, well, I want to see you play live. When's your next show? We didn't have no shows. We just had house parties. So I threw a house party. I got a keg. I got a sound system. It was like a karaoke sound system. It was super trash. Like what I would practice with in my garage now is what we used. And she was so about it. She pulled up with Max, stood on the stairwell. We performed. She listened to like our whole set, and then comes down the stairs and goes, all right, boys, come to the house next weekend for breakfast or lunch. Let's talk. And she signed us. I signed my first management deal with Soulfly Oasis Management. And then like we started having meetings and sending out letters, and we were getting interest from major labels. And then my best friend committed suicide. So all of the label conversations came to an end. But Gloria and their family, their son got murdered in my neighborhood in like 96. And the murder is unsolved. So they have a lot of trauma from that. And because we shared that trauma, she didn't really get scared. It almost brought us closer. And she was like, listen, I don't give a fuck about these labels. She's like, if they don't want to sign you, we'll do a new demo and we'll just take you guys on tour with us. So we did a song with Max, and it's called In Memory of. It's for Dana and Kamal. And then I wrote a song where he wanted me to sing, and I'm like, big dog, I can't sing. I wrote this for Asha to sing it. And I bring my sister in, who's Kamal's sister. I call her my sister, but it's Kamal's sister. She's got like Aretha Franklin pipes. Super, super soulful. And I put her on it, and he heard her sing, and he just looks at me, and he was like, thank you. Like, that was way better than you. And I'm like, I know. Like, she's incredible. Like, I can only do so much. Like, I wrote it for her to sing with you. And so I got 2 records on that Back to the Primitive album that we went gold. And we did Smoke Fest, Ozfest, rest in peace Ozzy Osbourne. We played Ozfest with Pantera, Methods of Mayhem, like in an arena in front of 10,000 people. So this is all when I'm like 19, 20. This is just how I got in the game. But unfortunately, rock and hip hop had not really merged yet. So we were kind of ahead of our time with the rap rock record. Like Linkin Park was, just starting to pick up steam. Fred Durst was on the first Soulfly album, so some of the Limp Bizkit stuff was cool at the time. But it didn't pan out, and then that management just fizzled out because they continued to do the heavy metal independent thing, and we just went our own separate ways and wound up being like the pioneer rap group of Phoenix. We released our first album in 2004. Over 1,000 people showed up. No internet, no radio, no support, just paper flyers, paper tickets. And we did get radio support the night before. We went to Power 92 at the time and did our interview at like 4 in the morning. And they played Battle Cry, which actually wound up getting into rotation on Power for, probably a good portion of 2004. But that was all a million years ago. I really don't talk about it because I don't want to be Al Bundy talking about his 4 touchdowns in high school.
All right, well then let's talk about these youngins then. When did you meet this guy down here? This guy down here, when that happened?
I mean, probably many, many years ago when we actually first met. Because I did the Arizona Hip Hop Festival in like 2019. When you shut down the center blocks of the city and had the stages outside. I did the outside stage.
Yeah, Deezy can rap his ass off. He's got hands. He's one of my favorite people. It just, Deezy is like we attract everybody who's supposed to be here. At least that's how I feel. That's how everybody who's supposed to be here will, and your time will come and go, and it'll run its course. Some people are lifers. Some people are, here for a season. But it's been 13 years since we established Respect the Underground, and I've got lifers on the team that have been with me since day one. They'll be with me until we either retire or sell the company. But it's about cultivating the culture. It's about pushing the movement forward. It's about bringing together the community to a safe place where everybody can have a place to be seen and heard without the politics. Like people that choose to bring politics into what I do because of who I am, that's their choice. Like my door is open to everybody, even my haters. They might have to square up and shoot a fade before they get on stage, but they're gonna absolutely. Everyone is welcome.
Well, so just to be clear for anybody watching, so it's called Respect the Underground, and like you said, it's been around for, man, I didn't realize it was around for 13 years. What was the inspiration originally?
Respect the Underground has been around since it was established in 2012. So yeah, 13 years. What was the inspiration for RTU?
Yeah. Like at that time, what was going on that made you go, you know what? Like we need to have something like this. We need to have some kind of way to bring this community together. What was sort of the inspiration behind starting Respect the Underground?
That's a great question. So we recorded our last album as Cutthroat Logic, and we signed a licensing deal with MTV, a sync deal. It got placed on Battlefield Hardline, which went 6 times platinum, so like 6 million copies. We got a couple songs on there. We got fucked in the deal, but I don't care. I'm on 6 million video games, like winning.
So you got video game sync licensing and all that kind of stuff. That's great. That's cool. Okay.
Technically 2 platinum records that we got fucked on, but I don't care. It's beautiful. But anyways, we signed the licensing deal, and I needed a way to promote the project, and I can't perform in the same city every weekend. But what I can do is host. So I'd always thrown my own concerts because Cutthroat, once we learned how to separate from a promoter and throw our own shows, we sold out shows from 2001 for our entire life of our career. We never once got, like, if a promoter booked us, we'd hit them over the head and they didn't want to book us. And I'd be like, well, you can't pay me less than I can make on my own. So I started hosting concerts all over the country because every concert I would host, I would print 500 CDs of our new albums, EP with the 3 singles. I would go get like a stack of t-shirts from my sponsor. I get paid my little $100 to go host the whole concert. I'd work for 8 hours, but I would throw the CDs into the crowd. I would brand the company, brand the album, and then throw out the merch. And what I realized while doing that, because I hosted like 100 concerts in 2009, where I was just trying to promote the project all over the country. And I noticed that in every single city, no matter where I was, no matter what show I was hosting, no matter what day of the week it was on, it could be Exhibit in LA at the Key Club on a Wednesday. What would happen it was the same for every single major market, even minor markets, B markets, C markets, didn't matter where I went. 100, no, I'm gonna say 100. I say the opening acts would all have their fans come out, and they would have this, 30, 40, 50 people rocking with them. And then when they would get off stage, even if a national was coming on at midnight, those fans, 80% of them would leave. And I'm looking at this happen in every city. And I'm also watching it happen like every weekend in Phoenix. And like I'm seeing these locals just get pimped the fuck out to open for these nationals. They're not getting a split on the tickets. They're not getting paid. They're paying to perform. They're not even getting, if they're lucky, they get their name on a fucking flyer, right? And I'm like, damn, there is no value. And their fans are paying $25 to $30 a ticket. What if I created a local platform or an independent platform that came with a mixtape with all the artists on the bill, comes free with the fucking ticket, and the ticket's only $10, and I do a 50-50 split with the artists? So because I created a fair platform and I already had the understanding I knew I've been selling out shows for the last 15 years. Like, this is what I do. I'm great at local events. I just have this gift of, I call it Rain Man. I don't know why I'm great at it, but for whatever reason, I know how to put together a lineup and I know how to manipulate the market to create energy around a local event that wouldn't necessarily have it. So I said, fuck it. I'm going to start Respect the Underground and I'll use Cutthroat to establish it. I'll kick it off with our album release and then I'll start doing it with other artists. But that was the $1 million question. Could I duplicate the success that I had created with my band with another act and another lineup of bills without me being on it? And if it wasn't for Trap House, God rest his soul, he did volume 2 of Respect the Underground and he dwarfed me. We did 600 people at the volume 1. And then on March 23rd, 2013, he came back and did volume 2 and did 750 people at Joe's Grotto. Like, the line was down the motherfucking street. And it was because we built value in the platform promoting him as a superstar. We didn't treat him like a local rapper. We treated him like the leader, the fucking boss, the superstar that we knew he was. Because on the West Side, Trap is a god. Trap, 15th Ave and Buckeye, shout out to the Dub, like, they all love him because he was from that section. He represented with authenticity, and he had a real network behind him. So when I put him on a platform and just celebrated him, City showed up. So we did that for a year straight, and I was able to throw about 20 concerts in year 1 where we got to volume 4, and I was like, fuck, because I had a database where you had to go register. We had like 1,000 rappers registered, but only 10% of them were top tier. So we had more artists that were just starting. The music wasn't really there, and we didn't know what to do with it. So I created Up Next Sundays, which was literally for whoever was coming up next. And it was a $5 show on a Sunday afternoon. It was all ages. We had fucking chicken and waffles and smoke on the patio. It was a rad day party, but it worked. And I threw the first one and like fucking 500 people showed up on a Sunday afternoon. I was blown away. I was like, how did this happen?
Wait, okay. Look, I gotta ask you, man, because okay, if you're the Rain Man, you're the man who knows how to just have an instinct for it. I mean, because I have a feeling that there's, especially now, from what I'm reading about with Gen Z, right? They've grown up in this social media world. They've grown up in this like artificial world, and people think that that's what they are and that's what they love. But I'm finding when I talk to Gen Z people, like my nephew or whatever, they look back at like us back in the 90s and early, the 2010s, and they're like, man, I fucking wish I was born then, where there wasn't internet, there wasn't social media, people were just getting together in real life in these cool like parties. And then there's starting to be this thing now, different world, but kind of same idea with, All American Rejects. It was a big deal. They were like, we're not going to fucking tour. We're not going to do any of this Ticketmaster shit that's ripping everybody off with these bots. We're just going to go, like, who wants to have a house party? We'll show up and we'll do this cool house party thing. And it's kind of like, I guess, a nostalgia trip, but I'm finding that it seems like that's something that's coming back. And I'm just kind of curious from your perspective, like, if somebody out there, let's say somebody's watching this and they want to do this, they want to do, like, they're listening to what you're saying and they're getting excited. I mean, what do you advise them to do about trying to start a scene in their own place or trying to do these events? Do you feel like it's something that's an instinct, or is it something that are there steps they can take to be able to create that in their own city? You know what I'm saying?
That's a loaded question. Politically correct answer is you got to put in the work, right? And that's why I think a lot of these kids, everybody wants to be a rapper. Everybody wants to host a podcast until you got to show up every week and do a podcast, until you got to fucking promote your brand. Like, the issue that Gen Z is dealing with is they lack soft skills. They lack the soft skills of communication, of kissing fucking babies and shaking hands and flirting with fucking girls. Like, you got to get outside and you got to touch the people and you've got to build community in real life. So I think that they're struggling with that, but what my platform provides is an open door. Like, it's ambiguous. Like, my nephew is 22 and he is like textbook Gen Z, but he's fucking dope. I pulled my nephew on stage because Futuristic and the headliners in 2019, we threw our biggest Arizona hip hop festival ever. We shut down a city block for 2 days. We had 9 stages. We had over 375 performing acts, and over 17,000 people showed up. No national headliner. It was all local, all Arizona talent. The only out of town acts we had was about 50 or 60 acts that flew out from other cities to be a part of it. They were not the headliners. They were not a national headliner. They were independent acts from other markets that saw us on the internet and were like, yo, how do I get down? And we would, discuss it and submit their music. If they qualified, we'd bring them out.
Hold on a second, Deezy, you never told me that it was this big,
bro. I have told you this.
You never told me it was like 17,000 people.
Well, the pandemic fucked us, so we had to pivot. But we're coming back to the big boy in October. Like, we're back. It just took us 5 years because we had to recover. We were the only company throwing festivals during the pandemic in the middle of COVID. Like, I still threw my festival. It was just on we just did a speakeasy style event, and we were filming our event for a Roku channel, which was considered essential business. So I had the paperwork to show the police when they showed up to shut me down that they couldn't, because I was not hosting a live concert. I was filming a television program. So that's how I got away with throwing events during the pandemic. But again, rebellion. So my nephew, he was like, dog, I got on stage and I saw what was possible. He's like, that moment is the reason that I'm rapping right now. And like, can't nobody take nothing from me. What's that? Yep. There you go.
2016. That's when I performed. 2016.
And look at that lineup. That lineup is fucking exceptional. So you got Odd Squad. Who is headlining the Gathering of the Juggalos in August for the 25th anniversary for the ICP's gathering. You've got Cryptic Wisdom, who's a fucking insanely talented artist. You got Twisted Insane, Be the Ruler, who's signed to Ithaca, Willie North Pole, Bag of Trick Cat, my little brother, Bougie, Swerve. Who else is on there, Deezy? I can't see it. I'm blind. Pokerface might be on there. Trap's on there. Mega Ran's on there. Mega Ran is Grammy nominated. He is absolutely one of the most incredibly talented human beings on the face of the earth. He's in the Guinness Book of World Records for the most songs about wrestling and I believe video games. But yeah, we fostered all that. We cultivated all that. We helped nurture all of that. Was I responsible for it? Fuck no. But we gave them an outlet to be seen and heard, but in a light that ain't no dive bar in the fucking, some bum ass neighborhood. Like, that was at Comerica Theater, Live Nation. That's Navy Federal Theater that holds 5,200. Like, I partnered with Live Nation for the first 4 festivals. So we did it at a level that no one had ever seen, and we rolled it out like it was a multi-million-dollar event when I was running off a shoestring.
Man, that's amazing. You were saying that at the shows, because I know you're doing something called Icon Radio, and from what I saw, it's about kind of bringing back mixtape culture for the now. And you just mentioned that at the shows you were, which I think is I don't know why more people don't do this, but you had an actual mixtape that you're handing out to people with all the artists on it and things like that. So maybe can you talk about Icon Radio and what you're doing with that and how that ties into what you're doing with Respect the Underground, and we can talk about the AZ Hip Hop Festival as well.
Of course. Icon Radio, I'd love for you to have DJ John Blaze come on. He's my business partner. He is the program director. That is his baby. I'm one of the founders. I helped him establish it. I built it. I'm obviously 50% of that, but that's his baby, man. Like, he built that from the ground up. We built that from the ground up, but he's the rain man behind Icon. And we are on iHeartRadio. So every record that we play tracks just like an FM station. So you get credit for your spin on Icon as if you would get it on Power 98 or Kiss 104.7, whatever. So it's, again, radio, but it's independent. So Blaze handles Icon, but Icon is, he's a resource to artists on a caliber of, you have a DJ call every Tuesday where you have 50 DJs nationwide, Southwest Alliance, that review music for artists. But we don't just have independent artists. Like, we have Adina Howard, Juicy J, Freeway was on it last week. Who else was on it? We've had Redman, Daz Dillinger. Like, we get legends. We get the big dogs. When they drop a new record, they still come to the DJ calls because that's how they get the DJs to spin it as a part of the work. So Blaze has killed that. That's a beautiful thing. But what you're referring to with the mixtapes, we have a SoundCloud playlist. We typically do the SoundCloud playlist for our Jaguars after parties for the song competition. But what we're doing for this October hip hop festival in December is we're creating a SoundCloud playlist for each one of everybody who's performing on the festival is going to get their song on the playlist. And then we're going to promote the playlist through music reviews that we do weekly. So it's just like the evolution of a mixtape.
Yeah, that's fantastic, man. So with the, you're saying pretty soon you're doing is that the AZ Hip Hop Festival? I just want to, because I know you're doing a lot of different types of events. What is the AZ Hip Hop Festival? Is that like is that one event, or is that a bigger thing? Like, is that the main showcase?
Yeah, so we do 4 festivals per year. We do 3 quarterly. We do the Phoenix Hip Hop Fest for spring, summer, and fall, and then the annual Arizona Hip Hop Festival is the finale to the year. Typically, it's a 2-day event, after parties all day. A dozen food trucks, 100 vendors, live art, tattoos. It's like all 3 of the festivals combined into one, and we just push it to the fucking max.
Damn, man. I might need to fly out, Deezy. I might need to come out there, check it out. Sounds cool as fuck, man.
I mean, dude, come in October. October will be amazing as well. But yeah, December, we've got some irons in the fire that I really can't speak on right now. But there's going to be more marijuana at this year's Arizona Hip Hop Festival than before. It's going to be damn near a cannabis festival. If everything goes as to planned, yeah, it's basically going to be a cannabis festival.
I don't know if there's any communication with Dr. Moonrock here, or Dr. Zodiac, sorry, but I'm assuming that some maybe, I don't know, DZ, you tell me. But
Justus is an entrepreneur of his own right.
Yeah, we own I'm one of the owners of Yam Yams, which is a very similar product to Moonrocks. It's called it's a snowcat product. We're available in about 10 dispensaries. But man, I came up off Cupid House Party. You feel me? Ain't nothing changed. I'm still the plug.
well, cool, man. Well, we can drop all. I want to drop all this stuff in the show notes so people can check all this stuff out. I want to switch gears for a second. So something else that you are is a coach for artists. You have something called Underground Academy, and so I kind of wanted to ask you about this. What is Underground Academy? How did it come about? How is it tied into all these things that you're doing? And what is it that you what do you coach artists on through this program that you run?
Thank you for asking that. Underground Academy is something that came just out of necessity, right? So we're dealing with Gen Zers, we're dealing with independent artists. And what I realized at my events is you don't know what you don't know until you realize you don't know it. And a lot of what they don't know is just, it's not because they're naive. It's not because they're stupid. It's because that comes from trial and error, and things that are breathing and fucking, to me and everyone else, is rocket science to someone who's never experienced a live concert performance or preparing for that. So what I did is I created a curriculum that's about 90 minutes. I do 2 calls leading up to the festival. I take all the artists that are on the bill. We do a call and I go through the peanut butter and jelly simple fundamentals of performing at the festival, because simple things like rehearsal, preparing your music, bringing your music to the DJs, emailing your set, properly labeling your set, promoting the event, having a merch table, learning how to bundle, learning how to promote and sell tickets. Like I basically teach them, I'm like, look, if you got 10 people that will support you, I'll teach you how to break even on my event and make a profit and build your network. Everybody in this class can sell 10 tickets, raise their hands. This is what's crazy, is to sell 10 tickets, you only need 5 people, because very few people buy 1 ticket. So I teach them how to sell at least 10 tickets, because my bare minimum promo package is 5 tickets. And to be honest with you, like, I got an open mic stage that's free. So if they're not ready to promote their music and sell tickets, or their budget is stretched, or they're just nervous, that's okay. I don't care if you're 40 years old or you're 21 or 18 and you ain't never touched a stage before. You want to come and get your chops, hop on the open mic. It's free. I'll bless you with tickets. I'll even give you a flyer to sell tickets if you want to invite your friends. And that's that, just because I want to invest in everyone who I've ever done that for. 80% of them see the festival, they experience it, they look at the big stage, they watch all the promo online. They're like, I want to be a part of that next time. So I don't mind giving that opportunity to artists, right? But Underground Academy was designed out of necessity to teach them the basic fundamentals. So, like, I teach rehearsal. What I do for rehearsal is I said, take your earbuds, put your set on a 10-minute set, go to a backyard, a park, a garage, in your bathroom, and I want you to do jumping jacks while you rap your performance. I want you to rest on the chorus. I want you to rap your verses doing motherfucking jumping jacks. Because what do you do on stage? You jump up and down, you throw your hands in the air. So what do we do on a jumping jack? We throw our hands in the air, we jump up and down. Except you got to do that. That's how I rehearse, because I don't need a hype man. Well, I mean, I'll use a hype man, but if I have to do it alone, I'll do it alone. So that allows you to get the wind. So if you do your set 3 times doing jumping jacks, that's 30 minutes. And then you do a normal set without doing jumping jacks to end it. You've put your body under distress, time under tension. It's just like working out. Now your body is prepared to get on stage and be under stress and tension. So when they get out there and there's a fucking crowd and their nerves are going nuts and they're fucking if you did your motherfucking jumping jacks for a month leading up to the festival, you're gonna be okay.
Yeah, yeah. Dude, that's so smart. I mean, I just remember back in college, we had a band and like you'd rehearse in the rehearsal room. And then like, as soon as like you see a cute chick or something, I'm like that vocal range suddenly just clamps, you're like, ah, shit, like I can't breathe, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's super smart, man. I love it. That's great.
That's just something that no one ever tells you that happens to you when you get on a stage to perform. Like, yeah, butterflies, whatever. No, you like legit can't breathe sometimes. Like you're like, oh shit, I'm like losing my breath. Yeah, I can't move. If I move around too much, then I won't be able to like say anything. Like the first time you ever get on that stage with no fucking feedback. So that's really great that you do that for people, because I remember my first time performing, bro. You're just like,
Your adrenaline's gonna spike, your heart rate's gonna increase, you're gonna get hot. It's fucking hot on stage, you're under the lights. You have to make eye contact with everybody in the crowd 3 times. Like, I go through the basic fundamentals, but I teach it. Like, now that I have artists that are returning, I want to create a curriculum that's more advanced. It's a step up. Like, all right, now let's talk about publishing. Now let's talk about distribution. Now let's talk about marketing and promotion on a much larger scale than just selling tickets to a local concert. So, I mean, we'll get there.
Man, I'm under lights right now. I'm sweating, guys. I'm nervous. On the spot, I need somebody to coach me.
this is pre-recorded. Shut up. He can edit anything bad out.
Podcast coaching is what I need. Yeah, maybe we need to figure that out, Justus. We can figure out some.
I mean, you're gonna have to talk to Joe Budden or Bootleg Kev or somebody that's got a successful podcast. I don't like to be I don't like hosting my own podcast, because I only want to interview. The only time I do a podcast is when I'm interviewing artists that are on my event, because I want to teach them how to interview. So that's another part of Underground Academy. Like, before I go live at the office, I sit them down and I'm like, all right, check it out. You can smoke during this interview, but I prefer that you not because I want you to be clear-headed and articulate when you answer my questions. You're going to rap. I'm going to put you on the spot. We're going to act like it's on the fly. But I'm going to be like, hey, man, if you're going to be on this show, then you have to rap for me. So now they're not nervous and they're prepared. They're like, oh, shit, okay, so you want me to rap? And I'm like, yeah, you're a fucking rapper, right? All right, so rap.
That's some 8 Mile Eminem shit right there.
I don't get to record it and have my vocals edited and get all these extra things. There's no auto-tune.
No, you know what? I'm not going to front. Because they're so green, and this is typically their very first radio interview, and they are nervous, what I do is I play their record. But I tell them, I'm like, look, man, I'm about to play your song on the radio, but we're streaming this live. It's going to look really fucking dry if you're not performing along with this song. So what I want you to do is perform it as if you're performing it over your performance track. I want you to hype it up. I want you to get into it because it's going to look so much better on camera. And then I can take the best part of your song and I can clip it and I can promote it on the page. But if you're just sitting there like this, it's fucking terrible. Like, we're going to lose viewers.
Let me ask you about this. We had, Fresh is from Toronto. I don't know if you know that, but he's from Toronto. He's been in that scene a while. We had another person who's kind of I would say your equivalent in Toronto, Mr. Freddie Fame. And we asked him some questions. One question I asked him was, what's his biggest artist pet peeve? What's the thing? You run this festival, man. You manage all this shit. You're doing all this stuff. There may be somebody out there in Phoenix right now. They're going, man, I want to get in touch. I want to get involved. Tell us now, like, what should they not do? Like, what's the thing that they definitely should not do if they want to go this route and they want to get involved and they want to be a real artist and do that real artist shit?
Tell me what I need to do with my company. People love telling me what I need to do with my company. And then they love to challenge me and they like to get a little bit, lippy. And I'm like, all right, bet. Well, here's the address. I'll be here till 5. So, like, my pet peeve is motherfuckers not showing up. Want this smoke? Come get it. And then I'm sitting here fucking twiddling my thumbs. Like, I'm just bored and annoyed at that point. But I'm not the toughest guy in the world, man. I'm just not a pussy. So I just like, these rappers are all tough guys, like the ones who really want to tell me what I need to do about my company. And so I poked the bear. I'm like, oh yeah, bet. Come say that to my face. Tell me what I need to do with my company, please. I would absolutely love that.
Taking all fades 24/7.
I'm from a graffiti crew called TAF. So Today and Forever is the acronym, but I created Taking All Fades as a pun. But yeah, it was just a song that was a diss to everybody who was running their mouth about me at one point, and it just wound up growing legs, and now it's a thing.
That's dope. I want to hear all this shit, man. I haven't had a chance to listen, so I definitely want to check it all out. With artists, there's a few things. Like, so totally different world, but I have friends who are sort of in the rock world, indie rock world, that type of thing, right? And man, I'm telling you right now, nobody wants to create content, do social media. Nobody wants to do that stuff. Do you feel in this day and age it's essential that an artist take that side of things seriously, or is it really, do you feel that they should just hone their craft and then, if it's good enough, it'll happen for them? What are your thoughts on social media and marketing and that type of thing?
The back part of your statement is no longer it. It's not. If you're not a 360 product and you are not, people think that good music is, it'll prevail. Motherfucker, if hard work prevailed, the donkey be fucking rich. But he the hardest working motherfucker at the farm, and he's not the one who owns the farm. So you have to be a 360 brand, and people have to want to listen to your story. They have to want to be a part of your brand. You have to make them feel like they're included in a community. So you have to build your brand, build a community, and you do that through creating content consistently that speaks to your niche market, niche demographic. And whether it be a hardcore band, a Christian rap, like, you should be creating content in that vein every single day that's not always relative to your new song coming out. Like, nothing's more annoying than hearing a rapper talk about his fucking mixtape dropping every single day. Like, bro, you can promote your mixtape other ways. When you're in the studio, be the content. I heard Trump said, be the content. That way you have to worry about creating it.
Right. Yeah. Makes sense. I might get you in trouble with this one. What do you think about new rap these days? What do you think about these? What's his name? Yeet, is that his name?
The Weeknd was the best concert I've ever been to in my life. Shout out to my wife. She took me for my birthday. But Playboi Carti, I'm a huge fan. I'm not a fan, period. But when I saw him open for The Weeknd, I got it. I was like, okay, I get it. You're dope. I get it. This is fucking rad. I'm not opposed to new music. My favorite artist right now is a young kid by the name of Lithe. He's Lithe. He sings in like this distorted auto-tuning mumble rap. Like you can barely understand what the fuck he's saying. But his melodies are so sticky and his frequency is so dope. I love his fucking music. I bumped the shit out of this kid. So I listen to a lot of young music because I think music keeps you young. And when you get stuck in your era and you got Mobb Deep Infamous on fucking repeat in 2025, like I got homeboys in a tall tee still drinking 40s, bumping Mobb Deep. Like that's my guy. That ain't me, because I'm always looking for new shit that's dope. But my focus is more my market, Arizona as a whole. And some of these kids, man, these motherfuckers, my little nephew Xander's, he's fucking dope. He is an artist. He creates aesthetically pleasing, timeless, fucking gritty, grimy art. And TM1 is fucking fantastic. Spooky. Like you got this Cactus Boys. Cactus Boys are fucking fantastic. My favorite artist in Arizona is an R&B singer by the name of Alexis. He used to be named Brown Boy Maj. My little Mexican got tattoos on his face, sings like Trey Songz, Tory Lanez, The Weeknd. He's like The Weeknd before he blew up, but Mexican. And he is absolutely going to be a superstar one day, but he's my favorite. Like I listen to artists that are like outside of my wheel. I listen to more song singing R&B, like Friday is my dude. He's I think he's a blood from Philly or New York or whatever, but Friday is fantastic. Like I listen to a lot of that. So I love what these kids are doing. If these kids are pushing the envelope, like if it's dope, fuck, dope is dope. I don't care if you're 45 and you're bumping Griselda or dude, the new Clips project is fantastic and they're still selling cocaine. Like bless the brick gods. This is fucking amazing. Like Malice came back from Christian rap and he's talking about Blow and Jesus at the same time. That's what I'm talking about. It's amazing. So like, there's no age limit on rap. Like there's not. It's just that's a incorrect concept. The age thing that we're so obsessed in rap. It's like get the fuck out of here. Jay-Z dropped 444 at the age of 45. Like it was a great project. Like you can't tell me mature rap doesn't win with adults. It does. But guess what? Them kids that can really snap. Ray Vaughn just signed to TDE, got to deal with Atlantic. He has ties to Arizona. That motherfucker's the next Kendrick Lamar. And he is absolutely lyrically elite. He's proficient. His wordplay is exceptional. His bars are fucking intelligent. He's witty. He's funny. His style is just impeccable. He's fucking young. He's new.
I guess for me, it's always like you can tell when an artist has an understanding of. Well, I mean, sometimes it's better for an artist to have no understanding and they just come out of nowhere because they have just their own unique world that they come from, and it's unique, right? But I I tend to gravitate towards artists that do have the understanding of the past, but then they take that and then they move it in a different direction. They're intentional in what they create. So
I don't give a shit what understanding you have. I just want it to sound good. So if it sounds good and it's dope, then I fuck with it. If it sounds like shit and it's not dope, then I don't fuck with it. I don't really think it's that philosophical when it comes to music. Like I think that music hits on a carnal level. Like it's not, you know what I mean? Like you don't really, I don't think that you dissect music in that way. You dissect music emotionally and like carnally.
Define carnal.
Like a reaction that happens to your body beyond your will.
Okay. I dig it. It's just got to be fresh, man. If it's fresh, it's dope. And dope is dope. It doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are. If you're in tune with the culture and you're in tune with what's dope, some kids get lucky. They throw shit at the wall, it sticks. The SoundCloud era did that, man. They weren't even mixing their music. They were just turning it all the way up and loading it to SoundCloud. And Suicide Boys had the highest grossing tour in fucking history. They did like $1 million in like 10 cities. And like, I hate their music. They're absolutely atrocious. That's not a young artist I would listen to. But, you know, some of their solo stuff is cool. Puya, Ghostman, like it's all right. It has its moments. But nah, man, that I get, yeah, like I get it. I totally, my daughters were front row. They're 22 and 24. And I was like, this shit sucks. But, you know, that's the old guy in me. Like, I don't like it. But that doesn't mean it's whack. It means I don't like it. And taste is different from quality.
What are your thoughts on labels? Good, bad, ugly, necessary, unnecessary? I mean, it's called Respect the Underground. I mean, I don't know. Is a label, I don't know, what do you think?
It's really relative to the situation, right? Because labels aren't signing artists based on the quality of their content anymore or their catalog. They're signing them based on the motion they've already got. And a label from a traditional sense in the golden era was just a dick in the ass, high interest loan with a recoupable advance. So now that the formats have changed and these labels have all bled out and like Def Jam fired everybody. Fucking these labels used to be, you know, hundreds of people in offices stacked to the ceiling. And now they're like a dozen people working from home. So the dynamic of a record label has changed, but the need for a team will always be relevant in music because it takes a village. I don't give a fuck where you're at. I don't give a fuck what you're doing. It takes a village to raise a baby, and a baby is an artist. If you don't have mentorship, if you don't have somebody who has the resources and the connections, if you don't got somebody with a bag that's willing to put that bag on black to win, like you're not going to make, you can only do so much organically. Like you have to pay for services to push the envelope, to get the PR runs, to get the tours, to get the distribution, the marketing, the promotion, like that everything in hip hop, everything is for fucking sale, but everything costs money and it's not cheap. Videos are not cheap. Nothing is, you know, you can do it all yourself and you might get lucky, but you know, the need for a team is always going to be relevant, especially in artistry with music. Like, you need a manager, you need a tour manager, you need somebody to route that motherfucking tour, you need bread, you need somebody to drive the bus, you need all the pieces to the puzzle. And if you don't have those pieces, you're not going to be as successful as you could. So labels, you know, it's relative to the situation.
Have you ever thought about Respect the Underground becoming some kind of label or doing that, being an indie label of some kind?
We were a label from probably like 2014 until 2018. I released an album in 2018. It charted 39 on the top 100, number one for the region on Billboard. We released projects through the label. We did national tours. We were able to operate as an independent label to some capacity. Now I just relaunched the label, but I call it RTU Worldwide. And I picked up a kid named Juice. He did 9 years in prison. He came home on Christmas. He had no presence. All he had was his Instagram. Nothing was on platforms. He was just finding his feet in life. And I met him at the office. He rapped his ass off. I was thoroughly impressed. I put together a competition to pick somebody up for a single deal, and I signed the kid, and we put his record out. Now he's one of the hottest artists in the city. But we did that because he checked off the boxes. He had the image, he had the story, he was talented, he had a support system behind him. All he needed was a big homie to show him, let me help you, let me get you your ASCAP, let me distribute your music, let me get you some merch, let me re-record this song, properly mix it, properly master it, properly put it out. Like we took his record that was recorded and we re-recorded it, remixed the beat, remastered it, and then distributed it. and he's jumping. He's low key got a lot of energy in the streets, but I'm not the end all be all. Like, he needs a bag behind him, and until you have that bag, you know, these Cinderella stories of people hitting the lotto are not as common as they once were.
I have a question, kind of about the music industry in general. Do you think that with so many people having access to the ability to call themselves an artist or whatever, that it just gets so watered down at times, and that like that kind of also can prevent some people who should be shining from shining? Do you think that exists, or do you think that most of that shit just gets ignored and then the good stuff gets play?
It's a great question. So, in my personal opinion, I think that it's a very yin and yang dynamic right now, because you cannot look at the cup half empty or half full. The cup is the cup and the water is the water, and it's up to you what you do with it. So, like, in my personal opinion, I think everything is extraordinarily diluted. Tattooing is diluted, graffiti is diluted, gangbanging is diluted, selling dope is diluted, marijuana is diluted, hip hop is diluted, concerts are fucking diluted. Everything has been watered down and diluted and just completely obliterated from its sense of artistic integrity, right? But because you have access to these resources and anyone can distribute their music, kids are fucking recording songs on their earbuds, mixing them on their phones, and then sending them to me to perform at my festival. I think that shit is fucking amazing. It's the greatest time to be alive of all time, because anybody who needs an outlet, whether it's therapeutic or artistic, or you just want to fucking rap, homie, do it. All you need is a phone. So on one side, you've destroyed the artistic integrity, but on the other side, you've given everybody the opportunity to be great. They just got to show up and fucking play ball and put in the work. So I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think it's a good thing. I think it's the greatest time to be alive ever when it comes to being, dude, if I was a fucking kid and I had YouTube and I could have recorded my music, like we used to record on mini discs, and the fucking lengths we had to go to create an instrumental. We had to tape tapes and create these beats. Like, if I got a beat tape with a fucking instrumental from like a popular record, like a mainstream, I was, oh my God, I would lose my shit. Because I got to rap over it and I could record myself on this mixtape, and that was all I wanted to do. But these kids have so much access. Like, you're telling me you got producers all over YouTube that'll sell you a beat for $30. You can have a software on your phone to record it. You can get a USB mic and a laptop. Like, what an amazing time to be alive. So I think it's incredible, but it's also fuck the game up.
Let me just say the final word, and then we'll end it, and then it was great. We had most of the interview was fantastic, and this is my last question, was the AI shit. So anyway, toast to you, good sir. Appreciate you. Keep doing what you're doing. Incredible work.
Cheers.
Just
also, don't leave at the end of the video.
Yep. True Arizona legend here with Justus. So and with that, Deezy, I'm gonna go to you, man. What do the people out in AZ who want to get into hip hop and become a star? What do they gotta do, man?
First of all, go follow Justus on Instagram. Go follow the Goat Show. You know what it is. All platforms. Follow us on Spotify too. We're growing. Send this to your least favorite rapper and your favorite local rapper. Send this out to all of the artists in your life, and repost, tag a friend, send a DM. You know what it is.